welcome back to another episode of Two Bros, One Beard. I'm the bearded brother, Michael.
And I'm John.
My baby-faced bro.
Older bro, right?
Older bro. So today we got another segment of what we like to call Out of the Ashes, where we bring up an album that either didn't get the recognition maybe it deserved at the time, or we just feel it's an album that, after being out a few years or even more so, should be discussed in detail and brought to light again. So, John, I'm going to kick it over to you. Tell our audience what we're talking about today.
Right on. So we're talking about 2018. We're talking about The Room by a band called Ostura.
Ooh, got my copy too.
Nice. Nice. So Ostura, it's an Arabic word for legend. This is a Lebanese band. And this album, I mean, I'm not really sure how we got tipped off to its sort of origin or how it was coming along. I think there was a connection because there's a guest spot on here from Arjen Lucassen from Arion. But anyway, we caught wind of it. We were kind of listening as the singles were coming out, and we got just more and more excited about this project. And man, it's one of those records that just completely blew us away. I think it was like, hands down the highlight of 2018 for both of us. And
definitely
stuck with us to the point where we're just like, man, we really can't think of like a better progressive metal album in the last 10 years. I mean, it's just, it's so far ahead of the pack in terms of its songwriting, its
production,
all the performances,
mix.
The production, the mix, everything. And to come from, a small country that's not, it's not Sweden. You're not thinking, oh, Lebanon, great country for heavy metal music. Like this it seemingly came out of nowhere. Well, even though we know these guys spent many years crafting this project and a lot of work went into it. But it's a concept record. We love that. We love our concept albums. And you can find this on their website. But basically, it's a The Room tells a story. I'll just read it. It tells a story about a social recluse girl who takes refuge in a room. Locked in with her thoughts, fears, and ambitions, the girl's imagination turns the room into an endless universe where she is the creator. Soon after, the creation gains the ability to create and ask the right questions. The story tackles the notions of fear, perfection, social anxiety, ambitions, rage, power, and the struggle between the creator and the creation. And so you can definitely tell it's it has a lot of first person narrative from the girl. And then you kind of have I think there's three lead vocalists on this project, which we'll get to, but you have kind of these personifications, like it was saying, of fear, perfection, social anxiety, all these different things that are kind of sung in character, and then there seems to be kind of like a narrator role in that type of thing. So it's all there. It's not to the level of like a Arion album where there's like 12 voices. But it's all within this room. It's all within her head, and it's all a very personal story. And it might not be the kind of story like a Streets by Sabotage or something like that, where it's very obvious what is happening within each scene and each part of the story. But it's done in a very poetic manner, and very cool, very worth diving into, and just trying to make of it what the listener wants. So we showed up the cover already. This
great artwork here.
Amazing artwork throughout the entire album packaging. So highest recommendation to actually buy this thing.
You can see the back cover here. It looks awesome. It looks like a video game. It's really cool.
And a lot of
Halo.
Times it does. A lot of times it's like this kind of graphic arts or whatever can get can be can leave something to be desired.
Usually it's boring, but this is like
Yeah, this is very
Maybe
good.
this concept didn't start out, digital.
Yeah, right. Could have been sketched at first, and
Yeah.
well,
It
then, but
looks.
yeah, it is spectacular. But yeah, so let's talk about the band a little bit.
Yeah.
This is their second record.
It is. Yeah.
Their first record was 2012.
I think it's. I don't think I ever
Yeah,
listened to the whole thing. It's very different stylistically, if I
very different.
remember correctly. They just kind of completely changed. So
Yeah, they talked about it on their website. They said it was more kind of power metal opera fashion, like Avantasia, Stradivarius, something like
okay.
that.
Okay.
And this is a very different, very different sounding album, very cinematic.
Yeah, big time. This is it's progressive metal meets Hollywood film score.
Yep.
It's incredible. If you want to pick an album that perfectly blended a live orchestra with metal music, like they just nailed it. It's so powerful, and then
Definitely.
obviously mixed by our favorite engineer, Jens Bogren. We call
That's
him
right.
JB. He's the absolute best. Because like if you compare
Yeah.
it to something like
Oh, the Astonishing.
Jeez.
Oh, because you're talking about the orchestra aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've I guess recorded a full live orchestra. You can't even tell. Until they told me, I was like, oh, I guess I could kind of hear the orchestra in the background. It's like, man, the orchestra will just hit you right in the face.
Yeah.
But it's just perfectly blended with with the guitars and yeah. So continue on with the lineup, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
I
I
mean,
noticed
like
right away.
as we're starting to discuss, I mean the key piece of the lineup here, really is the Prague orchestra. I'm trying to think of their
I think they've worked on like
actual.
some big
Oh,
movies too. I don't know
the
how
Prague
they got.
Philharmonic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I watched like the trailer for this album, and I saw pictures from some pretty big movies. So I don't know if that was just with
Probably.
the studio or that orchestra worked on those films. But yeah, I don't know
Oh, I
how
see.
It's hard to believe that they put this album together.
Yeah.
From
No, it really
these
is
amazing.
So there's some longtime members of the group, and won't need to get into all that, but the main creative force is and we're gonna really butcher these last names, so I'm just gonna go by first name. We have
Yeah,
Danny,
we apologize.
producer, keyboards, orchestration, and then Elia Monsef, who is a tremendous vocalist. I mean, he's so good. So we've heard some of his stuff with Amadeus
That's right.
A1 and I can't wait till I don't know what Arian's waiting for. Like, get this guy on an
I
Arion.
know
Like,
that's
it's
pretty.
just
There's some
do it.
singers where I'm like, how do you not have him yet?
He's like the. I mean, he has a lot of similarity and quality to Russell Allen even.
Yeah, when he sings kind of in that aggressive style, he does sound like Russell Allen. Yeah.
And his soft singing, his clean singing is just beautiful.
Yeah.
Lead vocalist, and she's terrific as well. Just fits.
Sorry, you cut out for one
so
second on that. What's her name again, Joe?
I think it's Yamna.
Okay.
Or Yamna, but I'm just guessing. But
very
nonetheless, she is
pretty voice.
Very pretty voice.
And there's times where this album kind of has a Evanescence vibe.
Yeah.
And she could sound a little bit like her.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I mean, she's probably even more talented. She's got.
Yeah, she's very good. I mean,
opera-like talent. Yeah.
And she does some of that too. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then we have let's say Elaine on guitars, Dan on bass, Alexander, who's their live show drummer. But the drums on this particular record were Thomas Lang, who is I mean, a big name in the business, worked with so many different artists.
Yep. Auditioned for Dream Theater as well.
He's one of the seven.
One of the seven. He's considered one of the best in the world.
Oh, he's killer. And then we mentioned Arian, who has a fantastic solo on track number 9.
There's one track that just has a big Arion vibe.
Well, yeah,
that's a big influence of theirs, or especially Danny's, I guess. And
yeah, I was gonna say more on that in a bit, but might as well just say it now. There seems to be, after
Oh yeah, I could look up
To
the
me,
track.
after Deathless, track 8, the album almost starts to feel like an Arion record, but
Yeah.
a really good one. You know,
Oh
like one of
yeah,
the
big
better
time.
ones.
Yep.
You know, a little like 01 or like you know, the Human Equation or
Human
something.
Equation. Yep.
It's just killer.
Yeah.
And okay, to tie in the whole, you know, Arion piece as well, Michael Mills is the guest vocalist on this record,
Yep.
and there's nothing this guy can't do. I mean, this guy
No.
is it's crazy how talented of a vocalist Michael Mills is, and he's
Yep.
all over this record.
Yeah.
You know,
He makes it look easy too.
it sure does, and
Yeah.
takes, you know, full on lead vocal duties on a couple of the tracks, you know,
Yep.
entirely by himself. It's great.
And it's cool that, you know, all three vocalists, they blend so well because they're so different.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
styles, and it works for like. So I guess they're playing different emotions. Is that what the
I think so.
characters are? I guess.
I think so.
Or, I always thought of it. I guess yeah, because those are
there's
the
parts. There's parts that are kind of called out in the album lyrics. So, Erosion would be the part that Ellie is playing. The girl is, of course, you know, Yamna's part. Utopia.
Okay, so it would be the emotions that are kind of destroying the creation. Is that, or
Might be up for
cause
but,
conflict? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but it seems like the main parts. Utopia is going to be Michael Mills' part, and I'm checking, and it pretty much seems to be kind of throughout. Is Utopia, Erosion, the girl.
Okay.
And you know that makes sense because there's a kind of this counterbalance thing here of you know, Utopia being very idealistic and kind of that perfection piece, and then Erosion kind of obviously being, you know, counter to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of answers that, I guess. But also, we have one more guitarist who does some guest soloing on this record, and the solos on this record are fantastic.
They are.
And that's Marco, who's working with James Labrie.
Yep.
Yeah, just an amazing player.
He's the one who did the first like 4 James Labrie albums, right? Was he on Mole Muzzler as well? I thought.
I don't know. I thought he was on the latest solo record too.
He's on it, but I think that was kind of the collaboration on his first 4 or 5 solo records were.
Oh, okay.
Him and Marco.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, you know, you just take one look at the liner notes on this thing, and it's just stacked with guests.
Yeah.
You know, they pulled out all the stops for this record, and it shows. You know, and it's and you know, I was thinking at the time, I was like, man, is this something they can replicate or ever do again? If this is a one and done, hey, I'm happy to own it and love it forever.
Yeah.
And we know they've been hard at work for the last few years on a new record, which, you know, hopefully sounds like may come out this year.
Yeah.
And
so we're hoping.
Well, I mean, by all accounts and from the demos we've heard and stuff, it's like, yeah, they're pulling out all the stops again. We're gonna get another room. So,
yep.
You know, we can't wait for that.
For sure. That's definitely aside from maybe a new Symphony X, that's the album I'm probably most looking forward to this year. I did message, I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, I messaged Danny on, I believe that's who it was, on Facebook, and he said that they just received the masters of the new album, so I would expect it to be announced pretty soon. But yeah, can't wait. And we don't know who the guest vocalist is yet, that's so that's exciting.
Yeah, and who knows? You know, there might be Michael Mills could be part of it too. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible he could be the one.
But yeah, more the merrier. Let's bring on, you know, whatever these guys can do. We're looking forward to. But
for sure.
But yeah, this it's like we were saying in the beginning. It's hard to think of a better record in the last like 10 years at least, if not even longer.
Yeah,
I mean, this
for
is
sure, especially of the genre. If you're a fan of progressive metal, and you haven't heard this, you have to buy it right now.
Yep.
Because it is amazing. It's best progressive metal album in the last 10 years. So I mean, better than anything Dream Theater's put out, or I guess Symphony X, the one record they put out. But anyone you could think of, they've I think they surpassed them, and it's truly a unique record. Like I said, the combination of a like full on. Sometimes it feels like you're listening to a film score, and then like guitars will come in. It's so clever.
Yeah,
And this is
for
a
sure.
record. Some records, I mean, that we love had to grow on us. We heard you sent me the trailer. You're the one who said, "Hey, this album is getting some buzz." I still don't think it didn't get close to the recognition it should have. I don't remember if it
No.
won any prog albums of the year or awards or something. I don't know, but
what's his name? Oh man, well, the guy who runs Prog Power. Every year he does his top 50. He had this at number 1. I remember that.
Oh, okay.
And like even he was saying it was just like one of those things where it's like, I mean, gosh, like so far and above number 1. It was like these.
Yeah.
He also said like, I don't know if any of these guys are going to read this, but it's like I'll pay whatever you need to get out here and play Prog Power.
Oh, really? I don't
Yeah.
know if they did read that because they've been asked. Obviously it's a huge undertaking. It would be to somehow create this live.
Sure.
It seems impossible, but if you could do just one show, I feel like Prog Power, that would be the spot. That'd be the place.
Yeah. Oh, logistically, why? Who knows? I mean, these guys, they're not. They don't have the kind of social media presence where we have any clue what they do in their regular spare time or their jobs, things like that. Maybe it wasn't feasible, but if this just remains this kind of project and we get something every 5 to 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it is.
I'm good with that. Yeah, I can live with that. Man. Yeah.
I mean, when it's that good, it's like you don't need something every year. This and I mentioned this to you before we got on the call. It's 74 minutes long. I mean,
wow. It doesn't feel like you want to talk about an album that flies by.
Yeah.
This is the album. Like even the songs that are 10, 12 minutes, they're so good that it does not feel like it's that long at all.
Right, but it is in a sense a challenging listen, not because it's not pleasant to the ears. It just requires a lot of you, and like a great film. This is like the I don't know. This is like the Raging Bull of metal albums here, where it's like,
or The Godfather.
Yeah. It's gonna take you really need to invest the time into it. It's not. I mean, there's certainly a few songs we could call out as being like, hey, definitely check this out.
I think the song people should start with is
Deathless was the first single, wasn't it?
Deathless and Only One were the two singles.
Okay. And then Let There Be, as far as lighter fare, when did you say track 4?
Yeah, Let There Be almost has picture like almost like a Disney duet.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And it's
well, and I was
it's beautiful too. The just the way that song is written and just the beautiful orchestration and the keyboards, especially on that song, are just will give you goosebumps for sure.
You weren't wrong about that. It's the it's the whole new world of
that's what
of this album.
Of progressive metal. That's what it is. Yeah,
it is, and it has like it almost follows that kind of musical flow of you sort of have kind of like a opening track where it's introducing the story to some degree, and then there's kind of like the personalized character of like the I Want song. Like you have like in Bell's first song and Beauty and the Beast, for instance. So you have kind of those tropes throughout.
Yeah.
In addition to the orchestra and stuff like that, it truly is almost it's film score music. It's metal. It's prog. It's a musical. It's everything wrapped up into one gigantic package.
But it's like sometimes like I'm not a big Disney soundtrack person, but when you hear those songs and you just could hear the amount of money that went into the production, you're like I've never heard music sound so good. Like if you listen to the new Encanto or something, you're like, I don't like these songs, but dang it, that sounds good. This album feels like just as much money went into it. I don't know, how they were able to replicate it. But it's just so the clarity is unbelievable in this album.
Yeah. And I don't remember because we sort of found out about it shortly before it came out. Maybe they did some crowdfunding for that one too.
Maybe
for this one as well. But certainly they did for this new record that's coming out. But we got to contribute.
Yeah, they did.
So that's fun.
Yep.
And I'll gladly do that again.
For sure.
Take my money up front.
I wish
Shoot.
more bands
Go
would do
ahead.
that. Like, just give it a try. If you don't make enough money, then you put in the rest yourself. But
yeah.
Symphony X should do that for a live DVD. Like, okay, everyone will give you money, so you won't even have to pay for the thing. Like, just give us a live DVD, please.
Yeah, Circus Maximus did that. It was
Yeah, they did. If they could
video.
raise the money, who couldn't raise the money?
Yeah, really. But yeah, I don't know what could be said. I mean, like we had to start with this originally. Like, we did the Circle John Oliva's Pain one, but I sort of just kind of was like, hey, bro, we're just shoot this video real quick. But
yeah.
I think when we first started this concept, it was like we both were like, okay, The Room, and then we had to think of some other.
That immediately comes to our head every time I meet someone new. I'm like, my name's Michael. Have you heard The Room? let me tell you all about it, because it's one of those albums I just wish everyone could hear, because it's one of the best albums.
100%.
Period. So.
Yep. Yeah, and we got I'd say one more that kind of reminds me of this, and we'll cover that in another episode.
Mm-hmm.
That I think comes close.
Yep.
But still, I mean, this record, I think, exceeds it by a bit. But
yep.
Anyway, yeah. So pick yourself up a copy of this as soon as possible if you're into, gosh, any type of progressive metal, symphonic metal of any kind. It's absolutely going to be worth your time and your money, and it's going to be worth repeat listens, and it's just it'll stay with you for a while. It's that good.
Definitely. Plus, with the new album coming out, like, this is the time. Check it out, and be ready for their new one.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this segment of Out of the Ashes, and we've been talking about The Room. Buy it. Look up Ostura.
Yep.
And we want to thank everyone for stopping by. Be sure to click a like, subscribe if you like what we're doing, and stand by for more content.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Take care.